33-year-old mother of two is dead after being shot by her own brother on Christmas Eve. Abrielle Baldwin was trying to break up an argument between her siblings when one of them pulled out a gun. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank reports on what has the sheriff furious and the changes he is now calling for.
Photos Abrielle Baldwin posted to social media show her filled with joy.
She's just a woman going about life, doing her thing with her two kids, trying to make a living, trying to make it.
On Christmas Eve, while at her grandmother's home on 22nd Avenue in Largo, she'd had enough of her brothers bickering. DeMarcus and Darcus began pulling guns on one another.
Abrielle told DeMarcus, quote, "You all need to leave that stuff alone. Why are you trying to start it? It's Christmas."
They both had been fighting over Christmas presents, with the 15-year-old Darcus jealous that their mom had spent more on gifts for 14-year-old DeMarcus. After Abrielle stepped in, DeMarcus pulled a gun and fired, killing her and sending her son and his nephew, an 11-month-old, falling to the ground. Then Darcus pulled his own gun and shot DeMarcus, leaving him badly injured.
This proliferation of guns on the streets and guns in this area and guns in the hands of these kids, this is the worst I've ever seen it. I don't think we've ever seen it this bad.
The sheriff says the area around 22nd Avenue in Largo has been subject to extra patrols lately, with 13 gun-related incidents since September. He says his office has gotten reports of 17 guns stolen from unlocked cars. He suspects the guns used in this shooting were obtained that way.
And people can't leave their car doors unlocked and leave their guns in their cars. It's got to stop.
Further, the sheriff says both juveniles have been let off the hook too easily by the juvenile justice system, particularly DeMarcus, who has a history of violence against school staff and law enforcement. The sheriff is calling for tougher laws.
They are not getting the consequences that they should get that keep them from doing it again and again and again.
Abrielle was only 23, and now her kids, an 11-month-old and a 6-year-old, will have to grow up without her. Evan Axelbank, Fox 13 News.
All right, so we're here this morning to talk about a homicide that happened here in Largo on Christmas Eve, December 24th at about 1:45 p.m. The victim in the homicide is Abrielle Baldwin, a 23-year-old black female. Her date of birth is May 5th of 2000. She went by the name of Bree and was a mom to two boys, a 6-year-old and an 11-month-old. The incident happened at 2357 22nd Avenue Southwest in Largo. We've arrested two people, and I'll explain the incident as to what happened. The first person that was arrested is DeMarcus Coley. He's a 14-year-old black male. Date of birth is May 2nd, 2009. And he's been charged with first-degree murder, child abuse, and being a delinquent in possession of a firearm. The second is Darcus Coley. He's a 15-year-old black male. Date of birth is January 31st, 2008. And his charges are attempted first-degree murder and tampering with physical evidence. And both of them are in the photographs to my left, to your right, and their brothers. So this is what happened. On Christmas Eve, as I said, December 24th, Abrielle Baldwin, her 10-month-old son, her 6-year-old son, her 14-year-old brother DeMarcus, her 15-year-old brother Darcus, and their mother, Joyce Birch, who's a black female with a date of birth of June 25th, 1984, went Christmas shopping at a store here in Largo. While they're shopping, 15-year-old Darcus was jealous that their mother, Joyce, was getting 14-year-old DeMarcus more gifts than he was receiving. So they had this family spat about who was getting what and what money was being spent on who, and they're having this big thing going on in the store, and they're all arguing with each other. They left the store and headed to their grandmother's house, which is where the incident happened, at 2357 22nd Avenue Southwest in Largo. They all piled into one car, and they were heading over to her house. The Coleys, along with Joyce Birch, lived at 608 Westminster Boulevard in Oldsmar. They were going to their grandmother's house because she was going to watch Bree's 6-year-old and 11-month-old baby when she went to work. So they got there to this house on 22nd Avenue Southwest at about 1:45 p.m. on Sunday. Darkus, who's the 15-year-old, entered the home and went into the kitchen with his grandmother. DeMarcus, the 14-year-old, stood in the doorway because, again, they're all arguing and they're having this big spat about what happened while shopping and who's getting what and who didn't get what for Christmas. So this is just normal what people do when they have these young kids getting spats like this. And of course, I'm saying this sarcastically because he's all mad at his brother about what his brother was getting and is not getting. He stood in the doorway and he took out his .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun and he pointed it at Darkus and told him he was going to shoot him in the head. So you got the 14-year-old who's mad at the 15-year-old because mom's not buying equal amounts of gifts. They get to grandma's house and he takes out his gun and tells him he's going to shoot him in the head. So DeMarcus tries to get Darkus to fight. Darkus said he didn't want to fight and told him to get out of the house and he didn't want anything to do with him. One of the boy's uncles was present in the home and he separated them by moving DeMarcus out of the house and moving him out into the driveway area. This is the house here to my right, again to your left, and that's the door where he was standing into, and that's the driveway area that he moved him out to where this happened. And so DeMarcus left the doorway. Darkus is still in the house in the kitchen. DeMarcus was standing by a parked vehicle in the driveway when Abrielle told DeMarcus, quote, "You all need to leave that stuff alone. Why are you trying to start it? It's Christmas." And at that point, Abrielle was in the driveway and she was carrying her 10-month-old baby in a carrier in her hand. DeMarcus then began arguing with Abrielle and used some very, very derogatory language that I won't repeat at all, and all kinds of profanity. He was calling her a whore and all kinds of other stuff, and stated that he was going to shoot her and that he was going to, quote, shoot the baby too. DeMarcus then moved toward Abrielle and shot her in the chest with a .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun, again, while she's carrying the baby. Abrielle fell to the ground, so did the baby. The baby wasn't hurt because the baby was in a carrier. So when DeMarcus falls to the ground, Darkus comes out of the house. And again, Darkus is 15, and he takes out his .45 caliber semi-automatic handgun because, again, I'll say this sarcastically, just normal that all these kids, that's what you do, right? You just carry handguns. When you get in a spat with your sibling, you take out your guns and you have a gun battle. So he takes out his gun and tells DeMarcus, so Darkus tells DeMarcus, quote, "You shot my MF sister," and then Darkus shot DeMarcus one time in the stomach. So DeMarcus falls to the ground, and when Darkus shot DeMarcus, DeMarcus was unarmed. And there's about an 8-second gap between the time that DeMarcus shot Bree and then Darkus comes out and shoots DeMarcus. And when he shot him, he no longer had possession of the gun. Darkus, the 15-year-old, then ran, threw his gun in a nearby yard, fled to a relative's house up in Clearwater, where we subsequently arrested him. Unfortunately, Abrielle Baldwin was transported to Largo Medical Center Hospital here in Largo with a single gunshot wound to her chest, and she was pronounced dead at the hospital. Basically, the round went in through her left arm into her chest area, went across, went into both lungs, all kinds of internal bleeding. She bled out and it popped both lungs. She couldn't breathe. DeMarcus was transported to a hospital where he underwent surgery. He's in custody, remains in the hospital, is in stable condition, and upon release, he'll be transferred to the custody of the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice. The Pinellas Pasco State Attorney's Office is going to review the case and decide whether to charge DeMarcus as an adult with the first-degree murder of his sister. Darkus, again, the 15-year-old, made self-harm statements after we picked him up at the location where he was in Clearwater, and he is right now in a secure mental health facility, and he'll be charged with attempted first-degree murder and tampering with evidence and transported to the Pinellas Juvenile Assessment Center upon his release from the mental health facility. The .40 caliber handgun that DeMarcus used to shoot his sister was recovered at the scene, and the .45 caliber handgun that Darcus used to shoot DeMarcus has not been recovered. Again, when he ran, he tossed it in the backyard. We've searched that area out there. We can't find it. And the unfortunate reality is probably going to be used in the next crime because somebody probably picked it up, and there are all kinds of people over there. And as I'm going to talk about here in about 1 second, there's way too many guns out there on the street, way too many crime guns out there, way too many stolen guns. Everybody's got a gun these days. And the sad part is that thing's going to be used in another crime because somebody picked it up. As you can see behind me in the photograph, DeMarcus, again, the 14-year-old, recently posted a photo to Snapchat pointing the gun that he used to kill his sister at the camera. So this is within the last couple days, and this is a Snapchat photo. That's DeMarcus pointing that gun, which is this gun, which we recovered there at the scene, which is the gun that he used to kill his sister. So there's the Snapchat photo, and there's the gun that he used to kill his sister.
Man, this is a crazy, sad, discouraging, dreadful, just crazy story, bro. It's so many different words, bro. Just all around the board is just so many, you know what I mean? Different crazy just thoughts I have on this, bro. Like, this is so many examples of everything from systematic oppression to misled aggression to, just, I'm just trying to make so much sense. I know I can't make too much sense of it, but it's like, bro, on one hand, I'm mad at I'm mad at the youngsters, right? Like, how do you pull out a pistol over, like, why do you got a pistol? You 14, 15, y'all niggas don't even got no jewelry. Y'all niggas probably ain't got no car. Y'all niggas don't own a house. Like, if they was gangbanging, I guess, but I feel like for them to comfortably just hide them guns like that, somebody knew, bro. You know what I'm saying? Somebody knew. And for them to be as comfortable to up them like that. And really, I'm going to say the first one, the young kid, what's his name? DeMarcus, the one that actually killed his sister. Because the other one, Darcus, came and shot him in retaliation, which is a crazy chain of events. But if you think about it, if it was you, like, say if they weren't related, somebody would probably do that. But now look at it. DeMarcus didn't kill his sister. Darcus then shot DeMarcus. And now Darcus is going to be charged with attempt because DeMarcus ain't had a gun in his possession no more. But you, me, or somebody else be like, you know what? I would have popped the, you know what I'm saying? Popped the food too. Like, bro, this is the cycle, bro. This is the cycle. This is everything from evil to misled to, it's so many different angles to this, bro. And it's just all around sad. Like, you got to be a different type of evil to not only shoot your sibling, your sister, but your sister while holding your nephew in cold blood. On top of that, there's got to be some psychological type shit. And that's why I say it's like systematic. Why is it systematic? Because look, them niggas is arguing. Basically, the kids was having an argument about how broke they was. One is getting more gifts than me because everybody can't afford the same amount of gifts or da-da-da-da. Or whatever the case may be. Maybe he didn't get the right grades or I feel like them niggas won't even go to school. Like, maybe if they had more opportunity, their mom or whoever they live with, you know, their grandmama or whoever, maybe they would have had enough, you know, if it would have been enough Christmas gifts. But I don't want to chalk it. I mean, it's just so, this shit is just sad, bro. It's sickening, bro. And this is one of the ones where you got to blame everybody, not only them, but society and just Look at the gun culture. I'm starting to think, can't none of these little niggas fight no more? Even though it really was no even reason to fight. I'm just saying, niggas resort straight to guns at any disagreement. Like, that's coward shit. That's irresponsible. That's not gang. It's nothing gangster about nothing in this whole story. You can't say, well, at least he was keeping it G. At least he was defending it. He shot his sister, then his brother shot him. And I understand why his brother shot him. He probably was in shock. Like he said, nigga, you shot my sister, which is your sister too. Now, I don't know if there was half brothers or because they both was two different complexions. So maybe it was some resentment there. But overall, man, it's just a sad situation, bro. Condolences to the family, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell, man. I'm gone. Yeah.